Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of The Jamie Hughes Show. My name as always is Jamie Hughes and today I'm going to be giving you my review of Tomb Raider. Now if you want to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always with my videos, this review may include spoilers, so you have now been warned. So Tomb Raider is surprisingly quite good. I went into this movie with relatively low expectations. And that's not because I'm a video game snob and all video game movies are terrible. I just really wasn't that interested by this movie. I didn't really want to particularly go and see it, but I had a spare afternoon. I went to see it, and I'm actually rather glad I did because I really enjoyed this film. It's a really great, fun action movie that has, it's an action movie at heart, but there's definitely something about it that I really connected with this movie because it felt a lot different to kind of what we know with action movies. I don't want to say there was depth there, but there was definitely something, there was definitely some other layers rather than just an all-out kind of over-the-top action movie. And I rather enjoyed Tomb Raider. And one of the best things about this movie is Alicia Vikander. She plays Lara Croft in this film, and I thought she was brilliant. I thought she played the role really well. And one of my favourite things about the Lara story is that she had really great character progression. She starts off, I don't want to say she was weak, but she was kind of lost. She'd kind of lost her way, and then she kind of falls into this story, and then from a specific point she really starts to progress, and we really start to see her fulfill the role of Lara Croft, Tomb Raider. And I really enjoyed that we didn't just kind of jump straight in with her and she was already kicking ass and all that stuff. I liked that we had a real full kind of story and character progression with Lara. And that's another thing I want to mention as well, is that this ties into 2 points. So this movie has some really great action sequences, but they're not overused and they're not over the top. To go back to that, like I said, with the story, I did feel like a lot of the action sequences really worked well in kind of moving the story forward or being interlaced around the story or characters itself. You had some really cool ones when she first got to Hong Kong, when she's chasing the kids. I thought that was really great as it moved the story towards meeting Kyren, I can't remember his name, Kylo Ren. But my favourite action sequence in this movie, in fact I had two. I want to talk about the first one really quickly because I'm pretty sure they robbed it from Jurassic Park 2, The Lost World. You know, the bit where she's kind of, well, in Tomb Raider she's dangling over the edge of the cliff on the plane and she's kind of lying there. I'm pretty sure they robbed that from where in Jurassic World 2 they're kind of hanging over the edge with the T-Rex. Felt very reminiscent and very similar to that. Not saying it's a bad thing, it just reminded me of it. But my other favourite scene in this movie is where Lara is kind of being hunted by this guy at night. He catches up with her and then she ends up inevitably killing him. And this is where I really felt like the sequences, the action sequences and the action really kind of was fully connected to this story, because after she kills him, she kind of has this really vulnerable moment where she starts to cry, but then she really realizes what she's done and why she's done it. And it's kind of okay, I need to do this now. I need to be if I want to survive, I've got to kill people. If I want to find my dad, I've got to kill people. And that was a really important scene where we, as I said, we got a lot of story progression and a lot of character progression from Lara. And I thought all that kind of action and story kind of intertwining and interweaving was really great. Another quick thing I wanted to mention that I really liked about this story, and it's a really minuscule thing, but this movie is kind of based around almost Japanese culture. The evil queen is Japanese. I don't know what I did that for, but the evil queen is Japanese, and kind of the whole movie is based a little bit around Japanese mythology and Japanese culture. And I really thought that was quite refreshing to see, because with the kind of past few, not Tomb Raider movies, but kind of adventure movies where they go digging, it just kind of seems to be very kind of generic, where we go to a Middle Eastern country or we'll go to Egypt or something. So it felt very nice that we had another culture to explore. And I know that's such a minuscule thing, but I enjoyed it, and I just wanted to mention it to you guys. So one of the things I didn't like about this movie, and it's not a total negative because one of these moments was quite funny, but I think there was a couple where they were kind of misplaced, and there is a little bit of cheese. There are a few cheesy lines in this movie, which is fine. I get it, do you know what I mean? I was expecting them, so I can't really say it was a negative, but there are a couple that are kind of misplaced, but there are a few that work. There's one where she's like in the plane, as I said, hanging over the edge, and she's like, oh come on, not again, as like something else falls. I thought that was quite funny. And then there's one, like, it's not a post-credit scene, but it kind of is. There's one where she's got like the 2 guns and she goes like, I'll take 2, wink wink, nudge nudge, we're setting up the sequel here. So that was fine, do you know what I mean? It wasn't like over the top cheese, but there were just a couple interspersed around those that didn't really work for me. Then the other thing is that this movie does kick off like at 100%. You've got the really cool bike sequence, as I said, you then hit Hong Kong. But then as this story kind of progresses and she finds her dad, it does slow down a little bit, which is fine, but there are scenes surrounding that where this movie does feel a little bit too long. I think this has a 2-hour runtime, and I think they easily could have cut out 10 or 15 minutes of this movie. Again, not necessarily a bad thing, but it just did start to drag a little bit towards the end, but the last few scenes kind of made up for that, so it's okay. So yeah, not massively negative things to say about Tomb Raider. For me personally, I really enjoyed it. As I say, I really enjoyed it. It was a really fun, kind of gritty reboot to the Tomb Raider franchise. It felt very different to what we've seen with the other couple of Tomb Raider movies, and yeah, I really enjoyed it. Not really much else to say other than I would go and see it if you're a fan of Tomb Raider. You may have a different opinion to me, but you know, for somebody who's not really a massive fan of the Tomb Raider like franchise, still very much enjoyed this movie. They set it up for a sequel, which is totally fine. I think they do maybe have a better story now going forward into the sequel, which I think is great. And yeah, really looking forward to seeing what they're going to do with this franchise. I think they have a lot of untapped potential that they can kind of dig into going forward. So let me know what you guys thought about Tomb Raider down in the comments below, and if you did enjoy this video and you want to keep up to date with all the latest movie news and reviews, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one. Ta-ra.